we're going to get into a couple pieces of Xbox news here. First and foremost, a lot of new games got FPS Boost support on the Xbox Series consoles. And so we now have 97 total games with FPS Boost support. So you've got Alien Isolation, Anthem, lots of Assassin's Creed games, the Battlefield games, and so they have the charts which display whether the games will run at 60 hertz, which means they were updated from 30 FPS running previously, as well as games that will run at 120 hertz when they were previously limited to 30 or 60. And then also a division between whether it runs, this new boost runs on Series X or Series S hardware, as well as whether it's off by default on Series X. And this is really interesting because there are some games, and I do recommend checking out Digital Foundry for coverage on this, but there are some games that actually you might get a worse experience with this FPS boost. And that seems a little weird, but there are certain games that received Xbox One X patches that are Xbox One X specific versions of those games, which got graphical updates or FPS boosts on their own and what have you. And those will be the default version that installs on most of the games for Xbox Series X, is you get those Xbox One X enhanced titles. However, the FPS boost is actually built based on the Xbox One, the One and the One S base console version. And so you have a little bit of a dilemma here where you have to choose the FPS boost or the updated graphics when you're choosing which version actually runs here in this version. So that's why some of the games have this check mark for being disabled by default on Series X, because you may actually have a better time with the version that it installs by default, which is a little complicated. I don't like that. I hope that they have a better way of unifying it, but it's still pretty neat regardless. And new additions include Alien Isolation, the Far Cry games, 5, New Dawn Primal, Assassin's Creed 3, Rogue, and the Ezio Collection, all remastered. Unfortunately, Assassin's Creed 1 is still the classic Xbox 360 30 FPS cap, but hopefully they figure out something for that. You've got Mad Max, Life is Strange, Metro, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Evil Within, Prey, Yakuza 6, and many more. And we had previously covered that EA just added a bunch of games, so you got Titanfall and Battlefield and stuff. So this is very exciting and just adding more and more and more value to these consoles, which I can always appreciate. With that, if you are having trouble getting your hands on the console, although I got the S just fine myself, like I just said, they are launching a new console purchase pilot specifically for Xbox Insiders. And this allows those of you who are Xbox Insiders, which is free to sign up. It's just basically the beta testing program. And honestly, you can sign up and test it once or twice and then just go back to the standard, just not running insider builds. Like, I don't think my Xbox Series X or my One X at the moment actually run insider builds at the moment, but I'm still part of that program and I can still do the Halo insider testing and things like that. You now get basically priority to register and reserve an Xbox Series S or X to purchase one for yourself, which makes it a little bit easier to basically kind of emulate the verified actual gamer idea to make sure that the consoles are getting in the hands of actual gamers. And I would like to see Sony do something similar for PlayStation 5 for long-term PlayStation Plus subscribers, like people who've been PS Plus subscribers for a year or so. And it doesn't even have to be like, I feel like if it's a year consistently, that might be a little too restrictive, but like a total of 12 total months of PS Plus subscription in your relative history, the past 2 years or something, that might be a good filter to get PlayStation 5s in the hands of actual, verified actual gamers as well. And so that is pretty sick too. I'm glad they're rolling that out. Like I said, I'd love to see PlayStation do the same thing, and maybe Nintendo, if they start rolling out the Switch Pro we keep hearing rumors about, maybe they'll do something similar, because most people are paying for the Nintendo subscription anyway. Also, the Xbox got a May update, which improves the Quick Resume feature, making it more reliable, faster load times when you're using Quick Resume, and it'll let you organize your games based on whether or not they support Quick Resume, which is pretty sick. And then they also added in pass-through audio features for listening in media apps, so they can pass through more perfectly to your stereo systems or what have you. They also give you better parental controls for locking or enabling multiplayer games for your kids, which is actually really cool to see. As a parent now, I'm starting to care about this stuff. My kid isn't at the age to start using an Xbox yet, but it's still something I'm now thinking about. And of course, there was the Xbox 20th anniversary celebration that has kicked off because this year is the 20th anniversary of the Xbox console as well as Halo. And so they've been releasing cool wallpapers and art and things like that, which is pretty exciting. So go check that out.